have slave nodes allocated beforehand, and we'll talk about how to allocate them. It does two things. First, it disseminates the workflow specification to synchronize the most recent version across all the nodes. Because if you logged in here and you made some changes, and then you want to run it, obviously, well, I'll explain why, but all of them need to have the most recent version of that specification, right, of this will. So, first we disseminate SWIL, and second we disseminate any data products that need to reside here, okay? Second we disseminate data products. After that, we make a call using SSH. So suppose this node is scheduled to execute first, and then we'll make a call using SSH, and in the command that we specify which components of the workflow this node has to run. And then when the command is received on this node, it invokes a method. I'm going to show you here.
So here, before running the workflow,
Sure.
you assign or allocate the data product
Right.
before running, executing the
Correct. Correct. So basically, what happened was we, before running the workflow, we disseminated SWILs and DPs. We allocated, moved the data to our nodes, and also the second thing we run, actually, also crucial, is we scheduled our workflow on those nodes. So, and the scheduler is here. Let me see. Okay, so view scheduler schedule takes workflow specification and then the list of virtual machines, which is basically the list of array list of strings, IP addresses. And then this scheduler maps our workflow components something like that. It maps these components onto these nodes using Heft scheduler. If you just Google Heft scheduler, it'll come up, and I know Mahdi already read the paper.
So in your case, the set of machines you're going to use is provisioned in advance, and then you do the scheduling.
Yes, yes.
There are a fixed number of virtual machines. Yeah.
You do it in two stages. One is provision the machine first,
Right.
which is fixed, and then you schedule the workflow on that set of machines.
Yes and no. We basically can. The idea is that we first imagine the set of virtual machines, and then we take a workflow and we schedule those machines, and then Vue should predict how much time it'll take to run on that set of machines. And if the user wants it faster, then he will say, okay, add more machines, of course, which will cost money. So that,
And when you add more machine, how do you change the schedule from the old one to the new one?
well, we basically rerun the scheduling again.
Okay.
And this part isn't fully implemented yet. This is still in progress. The interactive scheduling, sort of. So, in other words, when we run the schedule, we're not committing to running on any specific hardware. We can always rerun it, remap it in the future if we want to. But
When you say remap, you mean remap on only the remaining task or the whole original workflow?
the whole, yeah.
For the second time, third time.
So you run again from scratch?
Right. For most workflows, it's an instantaneous process to schedule, so it should be easy. But in practice, just like you said, Dr. Lu, right now we just provision virtual machines in advance, and it's a fixed set, and we just run on whatever machines we have. The way the other part is not implemented yet. So the way it is implemented as of now is, yes, we have a fixed set, and then we schedule, and then we run it. So,
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So if one of your tasks, it takes like 2 hours, one of them 1 hour, then how can we get that?
Right, right. So, it's a good question, and maybe you can hold that question and we'll get to it, because it's a very important question for scheduling. So, when we get to the Cloud Resource Manager and other blocks, we'll discuss how to compute them.
So my question is,
Mhm.
do you know before you run them on the machine, like on other machines, or you figure it out by going checking the time every time, like if it is done or not?
Both, and we'll talk in more details how
Okay.
that's done. But it's a very good point. How do you know how long it will take?